Are you tired of this? Well, have you ever thought that maybe you've been doing the whole healing thing wrong? Want to see something like this that could be repeated easily 45 times with only 23 mind? Well, sit back, like the video and subscribe, and I'll let you know how you will never need red Kool-Aid for anything other than the accidental turret deaths ever again. You know what the biggest disadvantage of using red flavored potions are in Elden Ring? Well, when everything is fully powered up, minus any buffs from talismans or debuffs from gear or other spells, the max healing a potion does is a measly 810. Now mind you, that is normally okay in a standard run. However, even if you put all the allocations into red drinks, giving you a total of 14, or 7 if you get the shit kicked out of you before using recovery pots, that's all you have and you are done. However, most people tend to lean into skills or magic a bit, so the typical loadout is an even split. This double healing method at this point can only be used 3 times this way, and even though the true pros of Elden Ring, like friend of the channel Wolf and GinoMachino, who are way better than that, still have to double heal from time to time. Let's face it, several big fuck-ups are still very common against some of the tougher bosses in the game. The healing nuke I'm talking about will put out just under 1500 per cast. Obviously, with power like this, we'll be running a not-so-standard faith build with 80 faith. Usually people are worried that using faith could lock them into a certain type of build. However, with a standard level 200 build, you can easily put points into health and other stats to pretty much set up anything that you're looking for, from a faith strength build to even a int faith build if you're a madman. Several channels have been known for setting up builds or speedrunning the game, and so far, me and those who sent me the original numbers from this healing powerhouse have seen no one talk about the fact that this spell is the best in tight situations. Even channels like Yui only managed to give the spell an A tier, while he gave Erdtree's heal the Tim Tebow of all heals an S rank, considering you'll never get the damn thing to proc in a battle against... You would think that just because it's 1 rank lower that it's not that bad. However, I'm here to tell you that with its speed of casting and ease of use, that heal from afar is, in my opinion, the far superior healing method. I know what you are thinking. You mean that shitty spell that just launches itself into the ether, don't you? And yes, nondescript person in the audience, I do. Now let's talk hypotheticals, right? Say you're trying to get just a little bit extra out of your build, so you put on the Divine Beast helm, and now you have an extra 4 strength and 4 dex. Fucking awesome! However, now you also heal for 11% less, but only on flasks. Want a great regen build? Cool, put on Malenia's Great Rune. Guess what? You take 15% reduction in heals from flasks again. Once you combine these methods, well shit, you might as well just
shut the fuck up! Know your fucking place, trash!
You know what is not affected by this equipment loadout? Well, healing spells, of course. But Alden, I hear you say, casting spells is too slow. And you know what? You'd be right if we were talking about any other healing spell. But this one is only a few frames different in casting time, and when shoved up a big monster's ass, you don't even have to cast it at the floor. The difference in speed is negligible at best, and can technically be reduced with certain talismans and stats. So now I'm going to show you a couple of different builds that work with this setup, and how they work against some of the bosses in this game. Both builds will be the standard level 200 setup, one will be a strength build, and the primary build that our friend Hazard, who was the inspiration for this video, uses to
Exodia! Obliterate!
the game with great efficiency. So with his basic setup, we're going to start with a Vagabond, and the stats are as shown. Vigor will be 50, Mind will be 23, Endurance will be 48, Strength will be 46, Dex will be 16, Int will be 9, Faith will be 80, and Arcane will be 7. Due to Hazard wanting to be prepared for any situation that he can get in, he has both a fire and a holy setup for this build, giving you 2 different flavors of badass to bring to the table if you want to try this out. So both of these builds are very similar. The only things that really change are if you're going to use a big ass hammer or if you're going to use a couple of curved greatswords. So I'm going to tell you what the basic normal things are first, and then we'll go into the two changeable weapons. Both these powerhouse builds run off of that lovely Erd Tree seal. And then we have the Dancing Beast Head, Brave Bird Black Quill Chest, Solitude Armor Gauntlets, the Tree Sentinel Greaves, Dragon Crest Great Shield, Claw Talisman, Great Jar Arsenal, and the Shard of Alexander. In our flask, we have the Opaline Hard Tier and the Crimson Bubble Tier. Considering the only changes we really have is 3 weapons, you can just call these fucking loadouts, whatever. But essentially, the first one comes with the Halo Scythe and 2 Black Steel Great Hammers. The madman who built this particular build likes to carry around 4 of these fuckers, but that's just a switch out for other situations he may or may not come into. The primary 2 he runs around with is 1 Black Steel Hammer that is infused with Chilling Mist under the Heavy Infinity, and the other one has Prayerful Strike under the Sacred Affinity. And with these hammers, so that you have a bit of a fun ranged option, go ahead and bring a Halo Scythe with you. I could go into the minutia about how Chilling Mist and Flame Grant Me Strength are this different or that different, or you could just watch as Hazard kicks the shit out of like 5 bosses. And I think I'm just going to have you do that instead. Now, what if they're strong against holy damage, you might be saying? And that's where our hairy dragon lips, the magma worm scale swords, come in. You simply switch them out from the hammers, and then you give yourself the wing great horn over the Halo Scythe. And bada bing, bada boom, you got yourself a fire build now. Again, Hazard likes to do things a little bit differently. This was all about the heal from afar spell, but he does like to use Dane's footwork with Endure on it so that he can cast some of his bigger incantations on screen now. And that's basically his setup. If we wanted to, we could go with dex builds, intellect builds, whatever. We would just replace the damn strength stat with whatever we're going into. After making this video and seeing what Hazard brings to the table, I genuinely believe that there is no more efficient way of healing, nor a higher form of DPS without cheesing or excessive buff stacking. But you tell me, and by proxy, Hazard, if you agree, or if you have the wrong opinion. Tell us that too, but at least like the video, subscribe, and see when we go live or put out new videos in the future. Until then, be good to each other. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.